Hello everyone, Dan Keeper with JKD Physiology. More today is day 7, the final day of advanced overall balance for JKD. So quick recap, I went over several concepts, just the simple fact of having more control over your balance. Also, if I didn't mention it enough, just simply doing, as a martial artist, or even if you're not a martial artist, but especially as a martial artist, simply doing kicks and performing them on a consistent repetition basis, meaning repetition after repetition consistently over a long period of time, especially on in a daily practice, is going to actually help loosen up your hips. You know, just simply going like this, and like that, and like this. Oops, oh, a little sweat there. And like that, and like this, and like that, and maybe coming out this way, okay, or even coming back like this, and like that. Those things are not only going to help your balance, they're going to help your overall mobility as well to help continuously loosen. Even if you're not doing a whole lot of mobility movements, which you honestly should be, and they're very important, you know, performing the kicks alone is really going to help amp up the next level in the mobility and the balance, because the more control you have over your kicks, the better your balance is going to be, okay? And even if you're just working on kicks alone for your balance, it is actually going to give you some crazy results. So let's go ahead and get into a good training session I will provide you today. However, like I have always emphasized, JKD is about finding your own way as way. So I want you to do this exact exercise I'm about to show you, but then I want you to obviously, like always, find your own and make your own way as way. Okay, so let's start off doing some narrow horse stances. Get some good pulses in, keep your hips nice and loosened up. You should still be thoroughly warmed up, but even if you're not, just sit there, boom, 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 up and down, boom, up and down, okay, and then do your standard, or what some people call wide horse stance, which actually is your standard horse stance. It's what the impossible squat is based upon, is the wide version or the standard version, okay? Get your hips nice and loosened up, boom, boom, boom. Okay, now, take a quick breather. Then what I want you to do, I want you to start off in the standard, or aka wide horse stance. Come out here, and we've done some of these for the week, okay? But then I want you to come here, and then go out like this. Let me show you a better example here. Sorry, a better view, okay? Boom, here, okay? And then even if you have to bounce back like this, whatever it is, come out like this, okay? Then I want you to switch to the other leg, here, boom, here, and then here. And you're going to feel different parts of your hip muscles, because you have, like, excuse me, your iliotibial band muscle. Here you have your hip flexors as well. So by doing both of those, both boom here and boom here, you're actually going to loosen up different parts of your hip region. Loosen those up thoroughly. Do, I would say, at least 7 to 10, maybe 13 repetitions each side. Okay, get thoroughly warmed up, get loosened up really well. And then I'm going to show you on the resistance bands, and I'm going to show you an alternative if you don't have the resistance bands. So give me one moment and let me switch over. Okay, hopefully I have a good position for you here. As I've shown these actually in the past, let me get, let's see here. Lower this a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so as I've shown these in the past before, put one leg in them, and you can get different types of resistance bands. You might even be able to get different attachments. Even if you have just standard resistance bands, might have a handle on it, but your foot won't fit in or stay in it, there are attachments. Mine actually does have a wrist strap to help a little bit more, but I don't normally need to use that. Because what we're going to do here, we're going to focus primarily on balance. So to get the balance, first we want to start off, yes, if you need to hold something, that's fine. But get to the point where, at least for a few seconds, you can just let go and not hold, and still push against that resistance. It's going to be difficult, and if you feel throwing yourself off, come a little bit closer to get less resistance on it. Boom, boom, hold here, okay? Let go off and on however long you can, okay? And do that. And do both legs, like I always emphasize. And then what I want you to do is, you know, just switch, do that with one leg, switch, do it with the other leg, and then you can do one leg, then the other, one leg, then the other. Or do multiple repetitions with one leg, and then the other, and then let me switch back over and I'll show you the alternative method if you don't have resistance bands or ones that will work. Okay, so what you can do, I'm going to simulate hold on to a wall. You've probably seen certain track runners, cross-country runners, whatever. I used to run track and cross-country, so I'm very familiar with these. But if you're holding on to a wall, and you've probably seen people do something like this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, do that. But here's what I want you instead. Instead of just doing swings like that, come out here, hold. So we'll go, come out, oops. Come out here, hold for a few seconds. Come out here, hold for a few seconds. And then come out here again. Go back and forth, back and forth. That is actually a stimulation movement. If you don't have resistance bands, it's doing the same basic concept. Obviously, resistance bands are going to be a hell of a lot better. However, if you don't, there's always an alternative method. Like you hear people say, oh, well, you know what? I don't have money to go to the gym. I don't have time to go to the gym. You know what? I want to go with my buddies. Well, you know what? You don't want it that bad. You don't want it bad enough. You just kind of want it, okay? Guess what? I'm going to repeat this because I love this, how David Goggins said this in one of his YouTube shorts one time. He's like, do you have a floor where you live? Okay. Get down and do push-ups. Okay. Once again, do you have a floor where you live? Okay. Well, you have feet. Guess what? You can do some bodyweight squats. Okay. Do you have a pair of running shoes? Okay. You can go out and walk. You can go out and run. Do you have a bicycle? Okay. Get on that bitch and go for a bike ride. People make so many excuses of why. If you need a buddy to help motivate and inspire you, whatever, number one, then you don't want it bad enough. Number two, what happens when, if you say you got a buddy who you train together all the time for, several weeks, several months, maybe even several years, and all of a sudden your buddy's schedule changes, or he decides he doesn't want to keep training anymore. Guess what? What's going to happen then? You're probably going to fall off yourself. We must all learn self-motivation, which is the only true type of motivation. Now, I don't really care for the word motivation too much, because to me, motivation is just kind of a small spark. Motivation basically is just, hey, getting out there and maybe doing it on one day and another day. But motivation is not being consistent. To be inspired is being consistent. We must learn to do that to ourselves as far as, even if you're not a very good self-motivator, maybe you need a little something to give you that boost. But remember, once you get that boost, keep in mind, hey, now that I got that boost, how am I going to keep going in my training? How am I going to stay consistent in my goals, dreams, and aspirations in my life? And that is just it right there. Consistency. The hardest thing is to get started. The second hardest thing is to be consistent. Number one, once you get started, tell yourself, I will be consistent. Even if I'm getting up in the morning doing 5 to 15 minutes, you know what, that's better than doing nothing at all, rather than, I want to train really hard for, these 3-4 days a week, whatever, but then the other days I fall off, and then the next day when it's time to train, I don't want to get out there and do it. Stay consistent, be consistent, and create more momentum. Let's do these things and challenge ourselves today. Believe in yourself. Believe you can know it. Believe that you deserve it. Smack punch, kick that like button. Just don't break it. Let's go out and do something. Do more than what you did yesterday. Get your ass up today and grind. What have you done today? Push yourself. Grind. What have you done today to push yourself? To grind. To embrace that discomfort. Be consistent. Stay consistent. Create momentum. And keep the momentum going. Quit making excuses today. Better your life because you are in charge of your life. Take control of your mind. Push yourself. Let's go.